Hi everybody, welcome to today's video, which will be based basically on another special video today with NVIDIA and Gigabyte, and we have a special guest here,
Galasandala, yeah, from Croatia. I'm usually playing competitively Fortnite, content creator, and also I started playing Valorant 3 months ago.
So guys, very shortly you can check out his link below, but today we're going to do something completely different. Right here we have two graphic cards. These are the RTX 2060 Super from Gigabyte, and we have right here the GTX 1660 Super, which will be, this is basically
budget graphic card.
And we have a nice mid-range graphic card already installed. Valorant is here already installed, so we're going to test. You can continue now.
I can continue. We are going to test FPS and Hertz if more Hertz on monitor gives you a competitive advantage or casual gameplay advantage among other players. So we are going to start with 60 Hertz, then we are going to move to 120, 144, and lastly on 164 because 165 because this monitor is kept on 165
exactly.
Hertz.
So we have here the AORUS gaming monitor CV27F, which is 165 Hertz and 1 millisecond response time, even though in this situation that almost doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. So basically in Balkan region we have some sort of a budget for graphic cards, which 1660 Super is kind of an ideal graphic card
for all the gamers. Yeah.
Exactly. And when you're going with the mid-range graphic cards, I would definitely suggest something like the RTX 2060 Super, especially the one that has Windforce cooling, right?
Yeah, and what is Windforce cooling?
Well, so basically in the RTX 2060 Super you have two cooling system that features two 100mm unique blade fans. The graphic card has alternate spinning fan and the composite copper heat pipe with direct touch on the GPU core. So this is an effective cooling, giving the silent work and giving lower temperatures, which is kind of cool. I mean, the GTX 1660 Super has actually 3 fans, and the RTX 2060 Super has 2 fans, which is kind of strange. I would put
3 fans on a more of a mid-range than a low budget.
Exactly, on a more stronger graphic card.
Yeah.
But still, the Windforce technology is really impressive because it does keep your graphic card cool and silent, which is most important while gaming. So guys, let's check out the FPS.
Yeah, FPS Hertz boost. Let's hop into the Valorant, and we're also going to do the Hammond benchmark on 60 Hertz, 120, 144 and 164. 5.
And on 165. So okay guys, let's go.
Let's go.
First tests are run on 60 FPS with 60 Hz monitor cap, and basically giving you some let's say knowledge of how will your reflexes be, because people that are running on higher FPS are definitely in advantage because they have a smoother transition from the game to the monitor and giving them more fast reflexes. So basically what you're watching now is 60 Hz 60 FPS and moving to 120 Hz 120 FPS, 144 and 165, and you can see the advantage of how you see the enemy, well basically the opponent, running through the door, which is kind of crucial because you do get also important things like the server ticks, of course the milliseconds of your response time coming from the server, but basically everything that comes down to is your basically graphic card and the refresh rate of your monitor. The main thing to everything that you see here is synchronizing the monitor hertz and the FPS that your graphic card can push. As Galasandala mentioned, you have to cap your FPS to the hertz of your monitor, because otherwise you're destroying your graphic card. Now you can see the advantage going from 60 to 165 FPS, and actually getting the advantage over the opponent. Now, this is when a pro player plays a game and he can definitely notice the advantage just because he can respond quicker, basically seeing the opponent just on time. And well, he's usually playing on 240 Hz, so playing on 165 might be a bit strange for him, but still it's an advantage compared to 60 Hz.
Okay guys, now we have 165 FPS in the game and we kept the monitor on 60 Hz. So basically, why is it not good to play on a higher FPS if you have 60 Hz monitor? First and mainly, your graphic card is kinda dying because there is no point of playing higher FPS if you have the 60 Hz monitor. Also, the game can stutter because your graphics is gonna reproduce more FPS, but your monitor can't handle the 165 Hz. And now Dario is gonna zoom into the screen and you are gonna see how it's gonna look.
Just one more thing, basically it's going to be screen tearing.
Yeah, a lot screen tearing.
And you most likely won't have fluidity in game. So let's check out 60 Hz and 165 FPS. Now you can also see the difference in the score in the kills that he managed, going from 60 Hz to only 2 kills and then advancing to 165, having actually lower difference between 120, 140 and 165. After that we placed 60 Hz refresh rate and 165 cap on the FPS for the game, and basically, I don't know if you noticed on the screen, but we definitely did this stuttering, the screen tearing that happens while the player is moving. Now we also did the old traditional 60 FPS, 120, 144 and 165, so you can see the difference. On 60 FPS or 60 Hz you can see that the the opponent that is moving is stuttering, and 165 you have a smooth transition of the player and not moving, let's say, brick by brick.
Okay, now we are gonna do the reaction time test. So basically it's a website when you can test it by yourself. We are gonna do the reaction time, so when this box turns green, I gotta click left click button and see how many milliseconds is my reaction time. We are gonna firstly do it on 60 Hz, 120, 144 and 165 Hz. So you are gonna see the difference. Just a little tip, and before you know, the difference isn't too much, but it's definitely worth checking it out. So let's go. Okay, so on 60 Hz, reaction time from 5 tries is 200 ms. Let's go on 120 Hz.
Okay guys, so we did loads of benchmark, and as you can see, Galasandala did door shot, was it right? Am I right?
Yeah, door shot in Valorant.
Okay,
Haven map.
so we did 60 Hz, 120, 144, 165 and 60 Hz with 165 FPS cap. Basically you can see the results. Now Galasandala is going to say a couple of words and basically I'm gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, okay, so basically what I'm going to say about hertz of monitors, it is very important in gaming that you understand that mainly most players nowadays play on 144 hertz. If you are now on 60 hertz, it's definitely worth buying a monitor with either 120 or 144 hertz, because it makes a lot of difference. Also, I have myself at home 240 with G-Sync monitor, and believe me, one day if you save a lot of money, definitely buy 240 Hz monitor, because it makes more difference from 144 to 240 than from 60 to 144, because it's much more smoother, much more faster in the game, and basically then I can also unlimit my FPS in the games, because then I could feel the difference from 240 and to have unlimited FPS, because at that point it makes a lot of difference. Also, don't forget, never play unlimited FPS if you have 60, 120, 144 Hz monitor. Don't do it, because not only you are gonna feel the little screen tearing, also you are gonna burn your graphics card and it's not gonna work. In 6 months, I had a friend of mine, he had 400 FPS. After 6 months of playing unlimited FPS, his FPS dropped from 400 average to 350, so it definitely makes a difference from playing unlimited than playing on the FPS that your monitor is capable of. PC Crazy, it's your turn to speak now.
Basically you've seen his what was that website, Human Reflexes?
Yeah, Human Benchmark.
Human Benchmark, exactly. So you could have seen the difference while he was aiming at those, what's it called, the
targets. You are aiming at targets. Yeah.
So you could see the difference between 60 and 165 when he was aiming at the targets. There was
second and a half, 2 seconds difference. Yeah,
exactly. So second and a half.
And also you could see the difference when I was scoping at the Haven map in Valorant, when the enemy team was peaking from 60 Hz, 120, 144 and 165, that the results that 60 and 165 is a big difference, and you could react faster on 165 Hz.
Now let's take a look at two technologies that NVIDIA has been improving. Those are NVENC and DLSS. Now NVIDIA did a massive improvement with Turing architecture. Because of the RTX technology, we now have loads of benefits for broadcasting, basically streaming. When the game comes from your RTX card, it gets compressed to a smaller format, which is called encoding, which saves also space but increases stream quality. For instance, software encoders such as X264 depend on how much CPU you dedicate to encoding. Hardware encoder from NVIDIA is called NVENC, which is a dedicated hardware encoder running on independent section of the GeForce graphic card. NVENC takes the load from your CPU, which in return lifts the load from it, which gives you better game performance because the CPU and the GPU can focus on running the game. New Turing NVENC is 15% efficient than the previous generation, which is amazing. Now for the ray tracing and DLSS, or deep learning super sampling, which uses an AI and machine learning to produce an image that looks like a higher resolution image without the rendering overhead. NVIDIA's algorithm learns from tens of thousands of rendering sequences of images that were created using a supercomputer that trains the algorithm to be able to produce similarly beautiful images, but without the requirement of the graphic card to work as hard to do it. For instance, in this Port Royal benchmark, you can clearly see that the RT+DLSS produce almost up to 50% more performance, which can also be seen in some games for now, unfortunately, but I think over time more games will use ray tracing, and in some games they already see performance boost between 30 and 40%, which is amazing. All in all, today we had some really interesting testing which proves that synchronizing your Hertz and FPS will definitely give you an advantage in game, and definitely won't see any stuttering or going with a lower Hertz and higher FPS. That definitely isn't a good idea. So today we did everything on our CV27F gaming monitor with 165 Hz, 1 millisecond response time and full HD resolution with a curved display. But in this testing that wasn't important. Since I live in a region where we basically aim for a budget or mid-range graphic cards, we have here two perfect examples which I already mentioned. So the GeForce GTX 1616 Super, which is a great budget card and it can achieve really nice FPS, as I said, cap it. And then we have the great mid-range card from NVIDIA, the GeForce RTX 2060 Super. Both of them are cooled with the Windforce technology, where the fans have alternate spinning, thus making an effective heat dissipation. And that is basically it. Two ideal cards and a great monitor that really can push the limits of these cards, and that's all there is to it. So I hope you learned something from this, let's say tutorial or learning video, where you can see that it is most important to get the monitor that can track your graphic card at the same time, getting more FPS at the same pace of the Hertz refresh rate, and basically giving you advantage. Will you be a better player? I don't think so, but definitely with more practice, more gaming and more accuracy, you could achieve better by having a better monitor with high Hertz and a graphic card that can follow the Hertz with the FPS and giving you some smooth transitions, no stuttering, no screen tearing, and no basically disadvantage to your opponents. So guys, one more time, thank you for watching this video. Hope you learned something. I'll put the links below for the Gigabyte RTX 2060 Super and for the Gigabyte GTX 1616 Super, both with Windforce technology, and I'll see you in another one. Bye bye.